Good morning, everyone. This is Srikanth Rajan, and welcome back to the Stock Market Podcast from MPIinvest.com. Well, yesterday we could not have the podcast due to some technical issues, so apologies for that. But now back to the market. Of course, yesterday the market was volatile. In fact, the way the day started, the market was actually looking bullish, where it started moving up, and it did go very close to the all-time high, but then from there again there was some selling pressures that came in, and again the all-time high was missed in Nifty. But of course, Sensex has hit its all-time high. So one important thing right now, the markets, if you look at a few days back, Japanese markets have been bullish and they are at all-time high, and Asian markets are also kind of recovering. Sorry. Okay, so Japanese markets was close to its all-time high, and then Asian markets were also recovering. But then, of course, we could see some weakness in the US, which is, I mean, of course, US has been weak for some time. It has kind of recovered, but then at some point of time it actually started falling again after the hawkish comments came in from the Federal Reserve. Now, one important thing to note, yesterday there was an event in the US that was nothing but Jerome Powell, the chairman of Federal Reserve, was actually testifying in front of the Congress. So he has actually come out with a lot of hawkish comments, and that has led to a further fall in the US. So that has actually seen Nasdaq actually falling by almost 1% yesterday, which would probably kind of affect the IT sector here, because already IT sector yesterday fell in India, and we could see yesterday the major power actually came from Reliance and SDFC Twins. So SDFC Twins have been on has been underperforming for a really long time. So it is actually probably time for them to start moving. But it's not yet. Probably the merger, finally when it happens, is when probably we could see the movement happening. But as of now, SDFC Twins are seen more of in the sideways direction. There is volatility. It is going up one day, down one day. But if that actually continues to power the market, then that is enough to take the market to all-time high. But one thing that we need to understand is, at this point of time, the market is at all-time high without any support from the IT sector and nor the banking sector. Banking sector, though it has risen a few weeks back, up since 2-3 weeks, it has been kind of underperforming, or it's flat, I would say rather. So at this point of time, when Nifty is actually at this all-time high, a small move from Reliance or these heavyweights can actually take it higher at any point of time. So we never know when it is happening, but there are high chances it is going to happen very soon. But whenever that happens, that could be a important site to watch, because see, many a times what happens is it hits the all-time high and from there it would come down. But sometimes it hits the all-time high and continues to rally upwards. So the way things are going on right now, at least till November, there might be a retraction, but then from there probably we could see some rally till November is what I expect, because that is how the history has been. Before Diwali, we could see the all-time high. So, or even a brand new history being created. So after that, probably I'm feeling that the markets could kind of consolidate slightly till the elections, and then probably from there again take off on the next path. So these are kind of expectations for a slightly longer term, but for the short term, if you're looking at for today is of course expiry. So there will be some negativity in the market because of the hawkish comments from the Federal Reserve Chairman yesterday. So in fact, what he told was he is very clear about 2 more rate hikes, and what he said was that the pause in rate hike should not be seen as Federal Reserve planning to pause their rates, but in fact they have just not increased it last time because they just want to watch the economic data. So one important thing is this, that the inflation in US is still under control. So that is something good. I mean, it's come down below 4%. That's a good thing. But then the producer price index, which is like the wholesale price index in India, is still on the slightly higher side than expectation. So that is what is concerning the Federal Reserve. And not only that, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a housing data that came in the US, which actually has given that the house sales have actually gone up in the US. So which is again a negative thing, because if people are having money and starts buying houses, that is not a great thing for economy, which is fighting inflation. So with all this, there is actually again fear in the US market that the inflation, for the inflation to be controlled, Federal Reserve is definitely going to increase interest rates 2 times by about 0.25%. which means almost 0.5% hike is still on the card, which is almost confirmed. And second thing is, when this happens, again the fear of the banks collapsing in the US is again coming back. So these are reasons why we could see the US markets actually falling yesterday. The banks have fallen. So that is something which is kind of spooking the market right now. So right this point of time for today, if you're looking at the view, I would say, of course, things are looking bearish, but then sometimes it has happened in the history that when things look bearish is when the market goes and hits an all-time high. So this is a time where I would say, as a trader, if you're a momentum trader, probably you can be in the market, but directionless trader like us, we are people who kind of stays away from the market at this point of time. So we are holding very small positions for the next week expiry already. We have exited yesterday's positions for this week with almost more than 1% of profit. So at this point of time, I don't see a reason why we would be holding big amount in trading. But then we are happy that our long-term investment portfolio is actually doing well in this financial year, which is sitting with amazing profits there. In fact, good stocks. We could see Shriram Finance yesterday hitting an upper circuit, going up by more than 11% yesterday. But then it was because of a block deal where Pyramid has actually sold some of its shares to a lot of FIIs. So it is actually a good thing. It's a good stock. And I don't see any reason why we should not be missing it. So we have not exited completely, but a partial profit was booked and expecting it to go further higher in the short term. So in fact, I've booked partial profit so that I can add it back to the stock probably in a couple of weeks or months when we see some retraction. So that's the plan for now. If it doesn't come, I don't mind because I've got a good enough investment there. So this is what is happening with Shriram. But apart from that, Tata Motors is at its all-time high, and banks are also kind of in a jittery mode right now. So one important thing to note is banks still have a good growth expected, because in India all these problems that we spoke about is actually pertinent to US and not India. In India things are looking good, but then the problem is Indian markets alone cannot keep going further a lot. So it will look at the European and US markets. So that is unless there is some positivity in the US and European markets, I don't see a reason how Nifty can actually go much higher. It might touch all-time high and come back or kind of consolidate at this range, but then I don't see a reason why the markets can actually be really high until the European and US markets turn slightly positive. So that's something that we need to look out for. However, one important announcement, we are expanding. So we are expanding to the, sorry for the sounds. Okay, so we are expanding to UAE, and I am traveling down to UAE. I'll be reaching Dubai on 29th evening. So I'll be there for about a month. So any members who are watching us from that side of Middle East, do connect with us. We have a website, mpinvest.com. You can go schedule a meeting with your name and phone number, and we could be catching up there, where we can help you plan your finance, and also help you invest in India. So that's it for now. We'll catch up soon in UAE for members there, and for members in India, of course, Indian office would be operational and will continue to be operational always. Because this is after all where we started. So that's it for now. This is Srikanth Rajan signing off. But before we leave, of course, today's expiry. Ensure that you trade with safety. Wishing you all the best. Looking forward to a great week closing. This is Srikanth signing off again. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.